Hello and welcome back to Polar Accent Maker, your professional accent coach. As the new year 2019 has arrived, many of you perhaps want to get motivated, mobilized and get a grip. If you want to set some goals for the new year, I have something for you. Today I've decided to record a film about motivation and setting successfully your New Year's resolutions, or at least show you how I do it. Many of you know how much I have on my plate regarding my business, my private language and accent coaching practice, organizing my workshop, my courses, educating myself, still learning new languages, still learning new accents, and traveling. And I need to be able to successfully set my resolutions, but also plans, aspirations and goals, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to organize so many different things. So what do I think about New Year's resolutions? How to make them, how to work on them? Stay with me, please. So the key elements regarding creating successful New Year's resolutions are: number one, the basics. What, when, and how. As you know, many private coaches tell you that good New Year's resolutions need to be precise, measurable, and given a particular deadline. Of course, I can't disagree with it, and I do agree with it, to some extent, Of course, it's always good to set a deadline, but please be honest with yourself and ask yourself a question. Do you really need to have this deadline? Will it really be helpful? Because, there are people like me who simply hate deadlines and find them totally counterproductive. I personally hate being dependent on a date. I need to have my freedom and flexibility, and I want to do as much as I want to and as much as I physically can, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on my energy level. And as we know, our energy levels are never equal. They may vary depending on the weather, on our mood, our hormones. There are also people like me who need to have pretty big leaps. By the way, not big lips, but big leaps, meaning jumps. So one day I do much more, another I do much less, but I still manage to achieve my goals. Sometimes you need to adapt yourself, sometimes you need to improvise, and such strategy might work the best for you. Although I am aware of it, that it is quite against many standard coaching strategies. But if it works for you, as it does for me, just go for it. Number two, know the difference between what you want and what you need, as these two might not be the same. I guess this is one of the most crucial things that I had to comprehend myself. Because very often what I wanted wasn't really what I truly needed. For example, I wanted to be more proactive, more efficient, more able to do more things and have better performance, whereas what I really needed back then was to have more sleep and more relaxation. So actually it was exactly the opposite thing to what I truly wanted. But when I understood it and started to prioritize sleep and even force myself to relax, I started to be more productive. Or another example, I wanted to be more responsive, quick-witted, wired, more intellectually stimulated. As a result, I started to overstimulate my brain, do many different exercises, read books, participate in different courses. It wasn't the best idea. But when I learned how to switch off my brain and meditate, relax, or actually do the opposite thing to what I wanted to do, then it turned out that I learned how to restore my inner intellectual energy and capacity. Remember, always prioritize what you need and what your body needs, and it might not necessarily be the same thing that what you want. Because, for example, you'd like to lose weight, but what your body truly needs is, for example, to eat more, but simply healthier. Or maybe you'd like to have more energy like me, but you won't achieve it by drinking more coffee or getting overstimulated, but simply relaxing, meditating, and simply sleeping more. Number 3, shortlist your goals. What does it mean? So instead of having lots of different goals or one huge goal for the upcoming year, try to pick 2, maximum 3 most important ones and set them for a particular period of time, be it a month or maybe a quarter. It's much better to have 2, maximum 3 micro goals for a particular month. That's something really huge and enormous for the entire year. So learn how to scale it wisely. So instead of setting 10 different goals for the entire year, maybe pick just first most important or maybe simply easiest 2 and start realizing them and fulfilling them slowly. And then when you succeed, keep adding new ones, one by one. Much as you'd like to do it, you won't manage to do everything at once. Number 4, keep track of your goals, but also your achievements. Many people say they don't need to write anything because they have it here on the mind, in their head, and they remember everything. It's not even a matter of remembering it. It's scientifically proved that people who write down their goals are definitely more inclined, even 70% more inclined, to achieve them. Write your goals down in the form you like most, be it a piece of paper, to-do list, your calendar, agenda, planner. Maybe you have some special application on your phone, or maybe you have some computer program. And make sure that you look at it very often, maybe even every single day. And also make sure that every day or every second or every third day, if you really can't get motivated, you do a teeny tiny step that will make you closer to making this dream, goal, aspiration come true. And if you manage to do this teeny tiny thing, also write it down, because tracking your progress is extremely helpful and is very, very motivating. It also gives you a measurable way to see how much you've done. Number 5, practice thankfulness and reward yourself. It's an extremely important, maybe even one of the most important things. Every single time you manage to achieve your goal, please do something for yourself, even something small. Go out, go to your favorite restaurant, go to the cinema, buy yourself a teeny tiny thing you like, maybe some trinket, maybe a bracelet, maybe your favorite candle. If you're a guy, maybe you should get your favorite gadget. If you're a woman, maybe you should go for a special treatment, facial. Life is way too short not to spoil yourself. And the funny thing is that we buy these things for our close ones, for friends, partners, family. But very rarely do we do it for ourselves, or not as often as we should. Because look, when are you supposed to be happy? Next month? Next year? Or maybe in 2 years? Or maybe simply now? If there exists some additional little reward that could help you, why wouldn't you go for it? Pamper yourself. Who will treat you better if not you? Self-love is one of the most important kinds of love we might learn. And if we treat ourselves well, then other people automatically do it in the very same way. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for all your New Year's resolutions, aspirations, goals and dreams. And it doesn't matter if they concern learning English accent, pronunciation, learning languages in general, maybe doing something for your health, maybe doing something for your shape, for your education, for your personality, for your relationship, whatever it is. I really, truly hope that you will make all of them, or at least majority of them, come true. Remember that if you need to have some additional motivation regarding efficient communication and beautiful English speaking, you can always find this here on this channel. That's why I warmly encourage you to subscribe and follow me on my other social media. See you next time. Goodbye.